As the Ukraine war concludes 2 years, we want to dive deep into the war and see what world leaders and other military power learned from the Russia-Ukraine war. What lessons did the Ukraine war teach us about modern warfare and global politics? Let's start at the beginning. As the conflict between Ukraine and Russia escalated into a full-blown war, the world watched with bated breath, attempting to decipher the strategies and tactics of both sides. Russia's initial approach was swift and unyielding, employing traditional military tactics alongside cyber warfare. The Kremlin's focus was not only on physical dominance, but also on creating chaos and confusion within Ukraine's digital infrastructure. At the same time, the NATO countries and the United States took a more reactive stance. They rallied around Ukraine, supplying arms and providing strategic support, while also seeking to maintain a delicate balance to avoid a larger global conflict. The tactics employed in the early stages of the war were not just about the physical battlefield. The cyber realm became a new front line, with both sides leveraging digital tools for espionage, disinformation, and disruption. This marked a significant shift in modern warfare, revealing how integral technology has become in global conflicts. Meanwhile, the world's reaction was a mixture of shock, apprehension, and condemnation. The international community grappled with the reality of a major conflict unfolding in Europe, a region that had largely known peace since the end of the Second World War. Countries around the world were forced to reassess their relationships and alliances, and the implications of these decisions are still being felt today. As the war progressed, the focus shifted from immediate reactions to long-term strategies. The production of arms became a critical aspect of the conflict, testing the manufacturing capabilities and logistical prowess of all involved parties. The question of who could produce and deliver weapons efficiently became a key factor in the unfolding conflict. The beginning of the war set the stage for lessons in warfare tactics, arms production, and global reactions. As we delve deeper into the Ukraine war, we'll uncover what the world learned from this conflict and how these insights could shape future geopolitical landscapes. The Ukraine war was a showcase of modern warfare tactics and arms production capabilities. The conflict was a stage for both Russia and NATO countries to demonstrate their military prowess. Russia, for instance, displayed its ability to adapt quickly to new environments and situations. They employed a variety of warfare tactics, including cyber warfare, to disrupt the enemy's communication lines. The effectiveness of these tactics was evident in how they managed to control the narrative of the conflict both within and outside their borders. On the other hand, NATO countries showcased their strength in unity and collective defense. They coordinated their efforts and shared resources to support Ukraine. Their arms production power and capabilities were also put to the test. Despite facing a formidable adversary, they were able to supply Ukraine with the necessary weaponry to resist Russian forces. The United States, a key player in NATO, played a significant role in this arms supply chain. It demonstrated its prowess as a global superpower, both in terms of its arms production capabilities and its influence in rallying allies to support Ukraine. The effectiveness of these tactics and arms production capabilities shaped the course of the war significantly. Russia's ability to adapt quickly and its use of disruptive warfare tactics gave it an edge in the battlefield. Meanwhile, the unity and collective defense of NATO countries, coupled with the United States' arms production power, provided Ukraine with the support it needed to resist Russian aggression. However, it's important to note that while these tactics and capabilities influenced the war's trajectory, they also exposed weaknesses. For Russia, its reliance on disruptive warfare tactics revealed its difficulties in maintaining a conventional war front. For NATO countries, their unity was tested, and their arms production capacity was stretched. The Ukraine war provided an insight into the warfare tactics and arms production capabilities of Russia, NATO countries, and the United States. This conflict served as a mirror, reflecting the strengths and weaknesses of all parties involved, and these lessons will likely shape future global conflict strategies. Sanctions have long been a tool of international politics, but how effective were they in the Ukraine war? A crucial question to ponder. In the course of the 2-year conflict, various countries imposed sanctions on Russia, aiming to cripple its economy and force a change in behavior. But how much did these measures actually impact the war? Economic sanctions ranged from freezing assets and banning travel for specific individuals, to more extensive measures like prohibiting certain financial transactions and restricting access to global markets. These sanctions were designed to put pressure on Russia's economy, making it more difficult for them to fund their war efforts. However, the effectiveness of these sanctions was a subject of intense debate. On one hand, they did have a noticeable impact. Russia's economy took a significant hit, with their currency devaluing and foreign investment dwindling. This economic pressure undoubtedly affected Russia's ability to sustain a prolonged war. On the other hand, sanctions weren't a silver bullet. Despite the economic turmoil, Russia managed to adapt and continue their war efforts. They found ways to circumvent sanctions, sought help from sympathetic nations, and even leveraged their vast natural resources to keep their war machine running. Furthermore, the sanctions had unintended consequences. The Russian population bore the brunt of the economic hardship, while those in power remained largely unaffected. This led to an increase in anti-Western sentiment among the Russian populace, potentially strengthening the resolve of the Russian government to continue the war. In conclusion, the Ukraine war provided a real-world test for the effectiveness of economic sanctions. They certainly played a role in the conflict, putting economic pressure on Russia and affecting their war economy. However, they were not the decisive factor some had hoped they would be. They didn't bring about a swift end to the conflict or force a significant change in Russia's behavior. The Ukraine war shed light on the effectiveness and limitations of sanctions as a tool in international politics. As we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to evaluate and learn from these experiences, refining our approach to sanctions to make them a more effective tool in the pursuit of peace and stability. The world watched the Ukraine war unfold with varying reactions. This statement reverberates with truth as we delve into the myriad responses that rippled across the globe. Political analysts, governments, and the general public alike shared their perspectives and actions, influencing the war's trajectory in numerous ways. From the halls of power to the bustling streets, the Ukraine war sparked intense debates. Governments scrambled to adjust their foreign policies, recalibrating alliances, and making strategic decisions to either escalate or de-escalate the conflict. Some nations chose neutrality or non-interference, while others were more assertive, offering military support or imposing sanctions. These decisions often reflected their geopolitical interests, historical relationships, and strategic considerations. Political analysts, meanwhile, offered a wealth of insights. They dissected the conflict, examining its causes, progress, and potential outcomes. They scrutinized the warfare tactics, arms production capacities, and the effectiveness of sanctions, providing valuable commentary that informed public opinion and policy decisions. Their analyses also shed light on the broader implications of the war, from the balance of power in Europe to the future of international relations. The general public's reactions were equally diverse. Protests erupted in cities around the world, with people expressing solidarity with Ukraine, advocating for peace, or criticizing their government's responses. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions, debates, and calls for action, shaping public sentiment and pressuring governments to respond. In a more subtle yet profound way, the war triggered introspection and preparation in certain corners of the world. Take Taiwan, for instance, where the National Palace Museum conducted its first-ever wartime response exercise amidst the rising tensions with China. The exercise was a clear acknowledgement of the potential threat and a move to protect invaluable cultural heritage. The global reactions to the Ukraine war also highlighted the interconnectedness of global racism, inequity, and xenophobia with conflicts. Voices rose, criticizing the racial bias in the Western media coverage of the conflict, urging for solidarity with all affected individuals regardless of race. The global reactions to the Ukraine war revealed much about the state of international politics. It laid bare the complexities of geopolitical dynamics, the power of public sentiment, and the persistent challenges of discrimination and inequity. The ongoing war in Ukraine provided valuable lessons for all parties involved. As Ukrainians struggle to launch another counteroffensive, the echo of the two-year conflict still resonates in the minds of Russia, NATO countries, and the United States. In Russia, they learned firsthand about their own military strengths and weaknesses. The war tested their arms production power, revealing a robust arsenal, but also a need for modernization. The effectiveness of their warfare tactics was laid bare, providing a blueprint for future improvements. It also forced them to reassess their economic resilience, as they quickly transitioned to a war economy. For NATO countries, the war was a wake-up call. They saw their unity as allies tested, their arms production power challenged, and their weapon deliveries to Ukraine scrutinized. The war exposed gaps in their collective defense, but it also demonstrated their strength when united. The United States, as an observer and key player, garnered invaluable insights about Russia's war mentality and adaptation during conflict. It also had to face its own reality, the effectiveness of sanctions, and the limits of its influence in shaping global events. These lessons are not confined to the borders of Ukraine. They carry implications for potential future conflicts, including the possibility of China invading Taiwan. The world's reaction to the Ukraine war may set a precedent, influencing how nations would respond to such a crisis. The lessons learned extend beyond warfare tactics and arms production. They involve understanding the interconnectedness of global racism, inequity, and xenophobia in times of conflict, as highlighted in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. They underline the importance of treating all affected individuals with respect and dignity, regardless of race. In the end, these lessons serve as a stark reminder of the cost of war. They underscore the need for peaceful resolutions and international cooperation to prevent such conflicts. The lessons learned from the Ukraine war will undoubtedly shape future conflicts and international relations. Russia's approach to the war revealed much about its war mentality and economy. As the conflict unfolded, Russia demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt and respond to rapidly changing circumstances on the battlefield. This adaptability is a testament to a war mentality that values ingenuity, resilience, and the ability to think on one's feet. As we delve deeper into Russia's war mentality, we see a nation that is unafraid to reinvent itself in times of crisis. When faced with the formidable challenges of warfare, Russia demonstrated a capacity to quickly transform its economy into a war economy. This shift was not without its costs, but it allowed Russia to prioritize military production and meet the demands of a prolonged conflict. The strength of this approach lies in its flexibility. By reorienting its economy, Russia was able to sustain its military efforts and adapt to the evolving demands of war. This is a testament to Russia's ability to weather storms and remain steadfast in the face of adversity. However, this approach also has its weaknesses. The swift shift to a war economy can strain resources, disrupt civilian life, and lead to economic instability. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that requires careful management and strategic foresight. Furthermore, while Russia's ability to adapt quickly is commendable, it also raises questions about its long-term planning and strategic foresight. The need for such drastic shifts suggests a lack of preparedness for the complexities and demands of modern warfare. In essence, Russia's war mentality is characterized by its adaptability and resilience. Its ability to turn its economy into a war economy demonstrates a willingness to make tough decisions in the face of adversity. But these strengths are not without their challenges and potential downsides. The Ukraine war provided a revealing look at Russia's war mentality and economy. It showcased a nation that is adaptable, resilient, but also one that faces significant challenges in the face of modern warfare. As we continue to analyze the lessons from this conflict, these insights will undoubtedly continue to shape our understanding of Russia's approach to warfare. The Ukraine war was a major event that taught us many lessons about modern warfare and international politics. We've seen the evolution of warfare tactics, from conventional methods to the use of sophisticated arms, and the power of nations to produce and deliver these weapons. The war also highlighted the effectiveness, or sometimes the lack thereof, of international sanctions. We observed varying global reactions, from direct involvement to neutrality, each reflecting a country's strategic interests and diplomatic stance. The aftermath of the war was a time of reflection and learning, revealing the strengths and weaknesses of the engaged parties, and the resilience of Ukraine. Russia's war mentality and its ability to quickly adapt and turn its economy into a war economy was also a significant learning point. This understanding of their approach and capabilities can help strategize for potential future conflicts. Finally, the war shed light on the unity and strength of NATO countries, their arms production power, and their ability to support Ukraine's army. These lessons from the Ukraine war will be crucial in understanding and navigating future conflicts and international relations. Share your thoughts in the comment below and please subscribe for more. And thanks for watching.